Donald Trump with an appearance that is similar to that of a conquering Roman emperor. Maybe that's just me. I've been watching too many movies. Gladiator was awesome. But he's just said he will not rule out using military force to procure Greenland for America as well as the Panama Canal. Let's listen to what Trump has to say because this is very interesting. A reporter is basically trying to get Trump to say, so will you submit to us that you will stay within the bounds of our ideology? And Trump says no.
Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
So why would the question even be that? The reason the question would be, will you assure the world, is because the left wants to believe that everyone agrees with them, that the world, this is how narcissistic their ideology commands them to be. They believe that the world shares the left-wing ethos of not wanting America to be better and not being on the side of Trump even after their historic defeat. They don't know where else to go. They're kind of like a deranged animal that is running purely on the instinct of inverted meritocratic hierarchies and victimhood hierarchies, making them good people. They've abdicated themselves with the ability to engage in logic or reason, so this is all they have left. And so they have to pretend as though the world wants Trump to not make America better, when in fact, actually the evidence shows that they do. Justin Trudeau just resigned because Canadians can't stand him, because the sentiment in Canada is very similar to the sentiment in the United States. There's going to be a re-election for Prime Minister in Britain. Andrew Tate's going to run. I talked about that in yesterday's video a little bit. But even in Germany, there is political movement across the world that is totally rejecting the left-wing ethos of insanity and anti-humanity, mental castration.
And can you tell us a little bit about what...
Trump immediately replies no.
Or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your...
The question continued very interestingly there, showing that the reporter expected Trump to say no, and asked the question anyway, proving that the reporter was not trying to get an answer. This fits, of course, the mainstream media. Of course, now we are the media. What you're watching is the media. Share this video if you're watching, and subscribe to support.
Plan is, are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't.
Trump just gave him an answer, and then this reporter continues to say, so would you continue with tactics used by the left in this situation? The answer, of course, being no. Further rejection of the left-wing ideology, making them furious.
Ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that
Greenland and...
Yeah.
So it is enormous news that we have Trump saying this, obviously, because he's going to be commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the world in 13 days. This includes the Navy. Fun fact, the American Navy, it has the second largest air force in the world. The biggest air force in the world is the United States Air Force. The second biggest air force in the world is the United States Navy. So we have the Navy and pretty much a second Air Force. We have the Air Force. We have the best missiles, the best bombs. We have the Army, best trained Army. Then we have the Marines. We have the National Guard, of course, and an armed populace. But America is an animal that can be unleashed on the 21st century for American glory, for the preservation of humanity across the globe. And that is exactly what we need. Again, leftists can't stand this because they're openly anti-humanity. They're openly working for the destruction of everyone. And this isn't as a result of me viewing a certain echo chamber like most leftists do when they watch the MSM. I'm simply seeing exposed what they're trying to do on X. A couple days ago, 158 Democrats in Congress voted against deporting pedophiles and rapists. That's who they are. What kind of person do you have to be to vote against that? The left is trying to oppose humanity. This is the reason why they want to depopulate the earth. Their ideology is fundamentally incompatible with human life and human flourishing because they're driven by resentment. Resentment for category, objective order, coherence, notions of truth and falsehood, referencing category again, because for something to be better or worse, or more coherent or less coherent than another idea, you are automatically drawing a distinction there of value judgment. And leftists can't stand value judgments because value judgments are derivative ultimately from nature and not the left-wing cult of intersectionalism that the left pretends is the arbiter of all virtue. So when you say this is a better way of conducting yourself in life than your philosophy, you're not just disagreeing with them. You're saying your entire matrices for pretending as though you're a good person and acting in a correct way is fraudulent. They can't stand that. This is the reason why they oppose humanity. And this is the reason why America, in historical fashion, rose up and defeated these definitionally evil people. It's the reason why this movement is being replicated across the world. It's the reason why they're enraged when you watch things like this, and it's the reason why they try to censor my channel. And they are censoring my channel as we speak. If you want to help combat that censorship and make this possible, because before I was monetized for like a couple months, then they demonetized me. I think they wanted to maybe toy with me or something, but either way, go to abrahambier.locals.com. It's the link in the description, and scroll down, press become a member, and it costs less than the price of a coffee. It does help support this fight against these communists so that we can spread truth, because we are now the media. Something else we can't ignore is that as these forces that are anti-humanity try to destroy nations, like in England and the UK, for instance, we are seeing they are putting people in jail who post memes and not people who exploit children in the worst way possible, and in a way I can't say on YouTube. In other words, they are totally ruled by people who have inverted truth and all systems of category out of the resentment for reality that I just described. And we cannot ignore the fact that this resentment for reality, this inversion, this degradation of society that is deliberate, is fueled, most technically, by the feminine psyche. As what you're witnessing here is an attempted tyranny to be perpetrated on the people of the UK. And we know from psychological literature and scientific studies that proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarian regimes is positively correlated with a feminine personality distribution, meaning that women are more likely to participate in leftist tyrannical regimes. So that is exactly what you're seeing in the UK, of course, as they are trying to imprison people who post memes, making fun of the government for not putting in jail people who exploit children. So I couldn't end this video without reminding people that this is also a battle against the feminine psyche, as it has been co-opted by the resentment of Marxism, of the left.